A Kansas Republican Party candidate for governor, let's get his name right, Arlyn Briggs, was arrested on a felony charge. He was arrested because he threatened to kill police. He threatened to kill police because there was a man who was being, the police were searching for they wanted to bring him in and question him for allegedly stalking women. And Arlyn Briggs let the guy stay in his house. Talk about good Samaritan for apparently domestic abusers. And he brought this guy in his house, held him there. The police, of course, started searching for him, found out he was at Briggs's house, and started circling his house. And that's when Briggs took it upon himself to call the police, issue a terroristic threat, and tell them that he believed in the castle doctrine, which Kansas is a castle doctrine state like Ohio, which is, don't get me into the stupidity of it. Anybody walks on your property, basically you can shoot them. It's the castle doctrine. And he said that he would be availing himself of those rights and shooting at deputies if they didn't leave him alone. I bring this up because the criminality is so rampant in the Republican Party now that you see this happening again and again. We talked about the Michigan governor candidate just a little while back. He was there on January 6th and he knocked over some of the barricades. He was arrested. The other day I talked about a state Senate candidate who in Rhode Island who went up at a Roe versus Wade pro-choice rally to his opponent and punched her. He sucker punched her and ran away. And he has since dropped out of the race. Think about that for a second. That's just 3 people. I mean, if we go through more and more, we know about the ones in office. Matt Gaetz being obviously investigated for trafficking underage women, and he'll probably be convicted. Boebert for campaign finance violations, not to mention the car crash she got into where she ditched her son in the car and basically begged her sister-in-law not to say anything to hurt her primary chances. Marjorie Greene is also being investigated, obviously, on campaign finance violations. They're all being investigated, all of them, and Gozar and Gaetz and the rest of them, Gomert, when it comes to their activities on January 6th. Like, literally, you have to be a criminal to be in this party at this point. It is unbelievable. And that's why this case I came across of Arlyn Briggs. We've got a terrific incumbent Democratic governor, in Kansas, and she is running, hopefully will be reelected. But like, I start looking at her opponent, at this guy, and one of them's been arrested. And then you look in Michigan, arrested. You look in Rhode Island, state senator, sucker punches a woman in the face at a Roe rally, arrested. Like, if you don't see the tie-in between they're wanting to dominate women, dominate people of color, dominate anybody who's not straight, white, Christian, doesn't love the way they love, and, vote the way they vote, most importantly. But in the end, like, the criminality is moving up. The kind of person that becomes Republican at this point is pretty clear. You look at who's in the party and you see it is not Donald Trump, who, by the way, committed all sorts of crimes that were established yesterday, from corrupt intent to assaulting a Secret Service agent and fraud and the rest, and hopefully will see his own time in prison. But it is not Donald Trump. Okay, it's in Michigan, it's in Rhode Island. Hell, I didn't even mention the Attorney General of South Dakota. He was driving home from an event. People suspect he was drinking, hit somebody. Hit a man with his car, and police later saw that it was clear the man went up on into his windshield, left the man there where he died on the road. Now, this is somebody who maybe could have lived if he'd been given attention, but Ravnsborg, I can't remember his first name, the last name of the Attorney General of South Dakota, decided he'd go home, sleep it off, and then the next day claim, I thought I might have hit a deer, when went back. The marks in the car were not consistent with a deer. There's no way he could have thought he hit a deer. And he was barely just impeached by the Republican legislature. Plenty of Republican legislators thought, killing a guy and just leaving him there on the road is okay. A few of them found their consciences and they got enough people to impeach him. But whether he ever does any prison time is unlikely. Think about this. South Dakota Attorney General and state senator in Rhode Island, and governor candidate in Georgia. The Mastriano, the one running in Pennsylvania, was there on January 6th. He hasn't been charged that I know of with any criminal intent or anything yet, but we may be getting there. He was there. This is a party of criminals. Understand, that's the mentality now. It's a mob mentality. You saw it in what Donald Trump said in those transcripts that were released, with witnesses talking onto the January 6th committee. Oh, well, he wouldn't like it if you did this. Donald Trump's reading what you say. It's a nice house you have there. Be a shame if it burned down. Know who we're dealing with here. Stop being moderating. Stop pretending we're dealing with a normal political party, not something between a cult and a mafia organization. Arlyn Briggs is the latest example of that.